We have three main resources in our life: our time, our health, and our money. And out of this, we construct happiness. When you're younger, you need to earn money and you have an abundance of time and you're in good health. You're more than happy to trade time for money on someone else's terms. But as you progress through life, continuing to make this trade, then your time and your health will start to become your most scarce resources. And there will become a point where continuing to work is actually costing you far more in terms of its impact on your mental and physical health, your happiness, and your finite time. I want to show you why you should retire as soon as possible. You won't be just a passive consumer in retirement, spending but not earning money. Your life has initially been about learning new skills and information. Then you work for an employer, but now in retirement, you can put all your skills to work, but on your own terms. This could be in a creative way, as demonstrated in the BBC series Make It at Market, or you could start up your own business with inspiration from books like The $100 Startup. So to me, retirement is more about pursuing your dream, and that's why you should retire as soon as possible. One reason to retire is you may actually have more wealth than you think. If you add up all your sources of wealth, you might be quite surprised. Now's a good time to dig out all your old pensions, find out exactly what they're worth, probably consolidate them onto a low cost platform, really simplify what's going on. And when you've got a clear picture of your wealth, it can give you much more of an impetus to retire. Another exercise is to work out, on the one hand, what costs you a lot of money, such as a car which needs insurance, taxing, and servicing before you've even driven so much as 1 mile, and what you truly enjoy in life, like walking on a beach or playing board games with your family at Christmas. So, how much do these top 10 pleasant activities actually cost you? And the chances are it's probably not much money at all, and the activities that are costing you a lot of money probably turns out don't bring you much happiness. So by bringing it more into balance in terms of focusing money on what you truly enjoy, you might find that you can spend a lot less money in retirement if you ditch things like expensive cars. So one reason to retire as soon as possible is that you probably got more wealth than you think, and that time is maybe more precious than you actually think. And if you want to value your time a bit more highly, then maybe get a passion project such as fixing up an old MG car, and then you'll really look forward to your spare leisurely time. Reason number two to retire as soon as you can is that there are some fantastic investment opportunities out there. And specifically, you can lock in some amazing dividend yields from dividend hero investment trusts that have increased or maintained their dividends for each of the last 20 or more years. So that includes things like going through the global financial crisis. Now, financial advisors don't generally recommend investment trusts for a whole host of reasons like stamp duty, liquidity, the price to net asset value cycle. But the reality is that the platforms that financial advisors use and where they skim off a 1% fee often just don't have investment trusts on them. What you can do is you can set up a set and forget high income portfolio, and now's a great time to do that if prices have come down a bit, and this video will help you to do that. The third reason to retire as soon as possible is that our worries are often unfounded. The future is always uncertain, and that's always been the case. If you read the news, it's easy to think that there's huge risks looming around the corner. And in fact, we have a recency bias that causes us to feel like events of today and the risks of tomorrow are much more significant than what anyone has ever faced in the past, when that is simply not true. Stock market indices in the developed world have always recovered, though it might be the case that the components of these industries have changed dramatically over time. You need to act with certainty in an uncertain world to minimize the turbulence of your wealth. But we have great coping mechanisms. We can handle what is thrown at us, and we are natural problem solvers. And so, for these reasons, I think the worries are unfounded. and that you are capable of taking the transition into retirement. Reason number 4 to retire as soon as possible is that you need to set better goals. Arbitrary goals like retiring when I'm 60 or when I have £700,000 mean nothing. Age is just a number, and money is just pieces of paper or plastic that ebb and flow in and out of your life. Waiting a couple of years won't achieve anything. Retirement, it's much more about having a growth mindset. When you fully understand this, then retiring as soon as possible becomes much less daunting. Instead, create a wealth plan and visualize how retirement could play out for you across many different scenarios. The best way to do this is through a retirement calculator spreadsheet, and I have one for sale on my website. I'll put a link in the description, and there's also a video that explains it, and I'll put that in the description as well. But where your money is going, how much are you spending? How much are you saving, and how much is going to the government? The best way to find that out is to use my income tax calculator, which is free. I've got a video that explains it, and there's also a link to it on my website. Reason number 5 to retire as soon as possible is that you may be in a better financial position than you think. Most people set a level of expenditure for retirement, such as £40,000 a year, and then index that for the rest of their lives. But the reality is that we spend lower amounts in retirement the older that we get. And this is backed up by studies mentioned in Abraham Okusany's book, Beyond the 4% Rule. And he says that basically people have 3 phases to retirement: the go-go years, where you're working through your bucket list, the go slow years, and then the no-go years. And as you move through retirement, getting older and older, you start to do less and less activities, your life becomes more of a routine, and you spend less money. And therefore, you might need a smaller retirement pot than you actually think. I've mentioned several activities throughout this video, and now I'll summarize them. Add up and consolidate your wealth, particularly your pensions. Cost up your favorite and your most expensive activities, and they're probably completely different things, which might make you realize you're wasting some of your money. Get a passion project, develop a growth mindset, and build resilience in the face of uncertainty. Create a wealth plan through something like a retirement calculator that's infinitely flexible, and you can really model out how your future might pan out for you, and analyze where your income is going and look for ways to minimize expenditure and taxes. For more details of wealth planning and how to get a better handle on your numbers, check out this next video.